Compassionate listening. What is it? Where does it come from? And what can I do for you? Why is it important that I'm speaking about this today, having not made any videos for basically this entire year? Why would I start off with a video speaking about listening? Because videos are about talking, isn't it? Talking. Well, strangely enough, that's kind of the key, and I want to explain to you why I feel that compassionate listening is so important. And that if you have the opportunity to be part of a compassionate listening group, if you are in the group I'm in, but you haven't been there very often, then this video is for you. Hey everyone, if you don't know who I am, my name is Richard Bezuidenhout, and like many of you, 2020 was a really tough year. Some people prospered from it, other people suffered. I kind of had both experiences, and I want to speak about why I had those experiences and how I got through some of the real dark days, the real challenging times. You guessed it, compassionate listening was part of it. So the way I like to sum up compassionate listening is really, if you've ever been somewhere or spoken to someone, there's this instinct inside of you that doesn't agree with it or agrees with it. We have this voice, we have this inner voice that is always talking to us, but we seldom know how to listen to that voice, especially when, there's a lot of pressure, when there's chaos, when there's challenges in your life. We seem to go external and try to find validation externally. But internally, we know what we need to do. You want to lose weight? We know what to do. But it's the action part that's difficult. And then there are more complex situations in life when you go through challenges so huge that it's difficult to hear anything. My journey in 2021, after 13 years of running a business, I was watching this business implode. There are multiple reasons why that was happening, but in 2020, we were unable to go out and meet new customers and do our sales. And so that really started to affect us. Even though online channels were available, they were something we're getting used to. For, like I said, a host of reasons, the company started to implode. And what really happened with that is when you're running a business for 13 years, it becomes your primary source of income. It was for me, and everything that I did was tied so closely to that business. It was tied very closely to what I did. The business success was my success. And so when the business was failing, I felt like a failure. And it was such a incredibly challenging thing to do. I mean, we've employed 30 people, and I have another founder. And so there are all these things that go with it, that it's very difficult to see beyond that. And everything I tried just seemed to come to naught. So one day I started posting very honest things on LinkedIn in particular about my experiences, where I am, just on my emotions, productivity, trying to keep a brave face. And Jason reached out to me and he invited me to this group, Compassionate Listening Circle. Initially I thought, what's this about? Whatever, you get that thought, you have this preconception about what's it going to be. It's kind of hippies, talking about life, man. And so when I got this invitation, it was really something that I looked at with a little bit of reservation. But there's a lot of other things that were happening in my life. I wasn't well mentally. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. I thought that would be the way out, was if I took my life and I was dead, I would get the insurance payout, or at least my family, my wife would get the insurance payout, and they'd be set for a very, very long time. But my mistrust in insurance companies kind of what saved me. and all the encouragement that I got from friends and family also helped quite a bit. And then I joined this group, and it's a bunch of strangers. I mean, it's men you don't know, and it's very difficult to describe what happens. So I'm not going to take you through everything that happens in compassionate listening. So basically, we all get together, we share a little bit about how we felt for the week that's passed, and then we go into a one-on-one session where you talk to someone else. Their job is not to give you advice or anything like that. It's simply just to listen. They don't have to respond to anything you say. You get to vent. You get to get things out of your system, and that's a really important part. So the best thing that I learned about compassionate listening wasn't that somebody else was listening to me, was that I was able to start listening to myself. I could then hear myself, and in hearing myself, I started to see myself. And I know that might sound very strange, but when last did you speak to yourself? Really just speak out the words. And once you hear it, you're like, holy crap, that makes no sense. Or it makes perfect sense. I know what to do now. And that's what I mean about the speaking. Once you speak, you can hear yourself. And once you hear yourself, you can see yourself. And that enabled me to make very different decisions about the business that I was in. And I almost immediately knew what to do. So that's kind of what happened to me in compassionate listening. And I can explain it to you in another way. I've been married with my wife for 15 years, and we've got 3 kids, and through that comes lots of ups and downs. We've had our good years, we had our bad years, and 2020 was a mix. We were probably at the lowest point in our marriage. Lots of discussion about divorce, and we were one evening after a few months of being part of compassionate listening, we were talking, and the conversation started to escalate. The voices got a bit higher and louder, and I could feel this tension building up. And it's almost as if I transcended out of my body, and I could see what was about to happen, and I could change it. I then was more mindful about my words and how that has an effect on people and my wife. And I stopped, and I changed the outcome of that event. Now, I don't think that would have happened had I not been practicing compassionate listening. And that has been such a key event for me that I'm now more mindful of my words and how powerful they are, because they speak truth into happening. I could have just carried on with the way things were, and we'd have gotten into yet another argument, and things would have gone way out of proportion, and we probably would have been divorced today or getting a divorce. But now our marriage is building, it's stronger, our relationship is good, my work life is good. The company's downsized to 7 people from 30. So there's a massive change there, but I personally am happy. I'm able to see the company as one thing, and myself and my self-worth as another thing. So this message is particular for the people who have been a part of the compassionate listening circle but don't show up every week. This could not have happened to me. I could not have gotten to this level had I not shown up every single week. I want to encourage you that every week I see these messages come across on the WhatsApp. Oh, I can't make it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Everything else. I understand that. I know what that's like. Everything else seems important. But when I made the commitment to show up every week, I made a commitment to me. And I invested in myself. So those group of men that are there every week, we don't really know each other. We don't spend time with each other. We don't sort of outside of things hang out. Although that is possible, that can happen. But it is more about that person is showing up for you to give you a sounding board, and that person is showing up for themselves. And I want to encourage you to show up for yourself. When last did you show up for yourself and for a conversation so that you can hear yourself? And if you hear yourself, you can see yourself. And that will make all the difference. So I hope that you've gotten some value out of this piece of conversation. If you're not part of a compassionate listening circle and you'd like to join the circle I'm in, then please leave a comment. I will make sure to reach out to you and give you some of the information. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. Via a Zoom meeting, and I think this Monday, 10th of May, I will be hosting Compassion Listening Circle. It's the first time I'm going to be hosting, so I'm excited about this, also super nervous, but I'm meeting myself at the challenges, and I would love for you to be part of the group. Everything is very private, so there's no public sharing, there's no recordings, and you just get an opportunity to speak. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you make time to give yourself a listen. Thanks.